The ASUS ZenPad 3 8.0 is a smaller and a little bit weaker version of the ZenPad 3 S10. It has a high resolution 8-inch display, pretty nice hardware and a very slim design. LTE is one of its standards, at least right now. How good is the tablet? That's what we want to find out with this review. While the ZenPad 3 S10 is made completely out of aluminum, the ZenPad 3 8.0 is not. It's made out of plastic. The bezel looks like metal, but it actually is plastic. And the back, it's kind of fake leather. It looks very nice, and because of it, the tablet does not slip out of your hand as easily, what sometimes can happen with a tablet that's made out of aluminum. So even though it's all plastic, the build quality is actually very nice. It's quite good. Obviously you can't compare it to an iPad mini, but it's relatively slim at 7.57mm and it doesn't weigh that much with 320 grams. On the bottom there's a microphone and a USB Type-C port. Not a lot of tablets have a USB Type-C right now. On one side there's a power button and the volume rocker, and on the other side there's a card slot for micro SD cards and also for the SIM card. On the top there's the audio port. The cameras have a resolution of 8 and 2 megapixels, and above and below the display are speakers. The speakers are fine, but they're really not the best speakers out there. The IPS display is 8 inches big and has a resolution of 2048 by 1536, so it has the same resolution as the iPad mini and as the Samsung Galaxy Tab S2 8.0, and like both those tablets it has an aspect ratio of 4:3. I like tablets with an aspect ratio of 4:3 for reading websites or ebooks, but if you're watching movies or TV shows, then obviously on the top and on the bottom there will be big black bars, and that's not as nice. But overall I like the display. The resolution is high enough for 8 inches. Obviously you can get devices with higher pixel densities out there, but the differences are not as big. It's quite bright and the viewing angles are very good as well. Compared to the MediaPad M3, the display is a little bit yellow. You wouldn't recognize it if you don't compare them directly. I would have never seen that if I didn't compare them, but it is a bit yellow. Obviously, in the settings you can change the temperature of the colors a little bit, but it's not possible to make them as cool as with the M3. It's a little bit sad that we can't use the active stylus on the touchscreen of the ZenPad 3 8.0. That's possible with the 3S10. Inside is a Qualcomm Snapdragon 650 chip. It's kind of a middle class hexa-core processor. It has 2 cores that are clocked at 1.8 GHz and 4 cores that are clocked at 1.2 GHz. There are 2 GB of RAM and 16 GB flash storage. ASUS also introduced a version with 4 GB of RAM and 32 GB, but those are not available yet. There's also Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, LTE and GPS inside. The Snapdragon 650 is not the fastest chip out there, but for most apps it is very nice. The performance is pretty good, even for games. You can use apps like YouTube, Gmail and the Chrome browser without any problems, even if you have a lot of tabs open. Most games like Mortal Kombat 5 and Dead Trigger 2 run very smoothly as well. The same kind of goes for Asphalt 8 Airborne. I could play it quite nicely, but if you have like high expectations then you might see a couple of lags from time to time. What's quite noticeable compared to more high-end tablets like the Huawei MediaPad M3 is a longer loading time with games. If you start the game, the loading time is longer, and also between the different levels inside the game the loading time is a bit longer. That's probably because of the small RAM. You can see the performance difference in the benchmarks as well. The ASUS ZenPad 3 8.0 in Geekbench 4 got 1477 points in the single core test, and in the multi-core test it gets 2696 points. With Antutu it gets a result of 74,000 points. So in the benchmarks it's a bit weaker than the ZenPad 3 S10 and also quite noticeably weaker than the MediaPad M3, but also a bit stronger than the Samsung Galaxy Tab S2 8.0. On the tablet runs Android 6.0.1 Marshmallow, and like with all devices from ASUS, on top of it is the Zen UI. That's the own interface. With the Zen UI the interface is customized quite a lot, but I actually like the design. Together with the Zen UI there are a couple of apps, actually a lot of apps pre-installed. We've known them from other devices from ASUS already. For example, Supernote is a note-taking app. It's alright, but to be honest, I don't really use the pre-installed apps. What's a bit sad is that you can't deinstall them. You can deactivate them, but not deinstall them. What's actually quite nice is the mobile ASUS manager. With that one you can see how much data you used, or you can also change the energy settings if you want a lot of performance or if you want to save the battery. That's what you can set here. There's also a phone app pre-installed with the LTE version obviously, so you actually could replace a smartphone with this. ASUS did release a Marshmallow update for the first ZenPad generation, so it is possible that the ZenPad 3 8.0 will get Nougat. We don't know when yet, but maybe it will come. The battery has a capacity of 4680 mAh, and according to ASUS it has a runtime of 11 hours. And actually that's very accurate. In my battery test the ZenPad 3 8.0 got a runtime of 11 hours, so that's pretty good. I always do the same battery test. I'm running a 720p video over and over again. Brightness is set to 50%, Wi-Fi is activated, audio is deactivated, and there's a notification from Gmail from time to time, but no notifications from Facebook or other social networks. So overall the ASUS ZenPad 3 8.0 is quite a nice tablet. It's a bit sad that the case is made out of plastic and not aluminium, but the display is quite nice. The performance and battery life are good, especially for the price. And especially because for €279, since about the same in US dollars, LTE is included. So if you're looking for a solid tablet with LTE for under €300, then I'm sure you will be happy with the ZenPad 3 8.0. But the ZenPad 3 8.0 is not the best 8-inch tablet out there. There are more powerful tablets of this size, like the MediaPad M3, which has a better performance and a metal case and a fingerprint reader, but it is more expensive as well. That's my review with the ASUS ZenPad 3 8.0. If you have any questions, please write them in the comments. I'm Angel from mynexttablet.com. Thanks for watching.